A very special edition. It's a Halloween edition of Realities May Vary. I'm Brian Noonan. He's Cody Gough. Big show again this week. We'll start with Brian's Medical Minute. Yes, it wouldn't be a Realities May Vary podcast without some sort of malady from me. We're going to talk, of course, about Halloween and why we're dressed this way. Powerball up to $1 billion. We'll get to that. New boss at Twitter. Meet the new boss. Will he be same as the old boss? And then finally, a big job that is finally done. Hello, Cody. Look at you.
Hello.
The saddest of all Winnie the Pooh's friends.
I am.
Why are you Eeyore? Why did you pick Eeyore?
Because.
Okay. Oh, bother.
Oh, bother.
Oh, bother.
Oh, bother.
I like Eeyore. His tail was tacked on, and he was always gloomy.
Everybody
else was all happy.
A swishy tail. Swish, swish.
Swish, swish. Swish, swish. Well, as promised, we must start with the...
I forgot my bell.
The buzzer is back, baby.
Oh, I forgot the bell downstairs.
The buzzer is back. First of all, let's get this out of the way. We've started doing these live, the video portion of the podcast. We started doing it a half hour later. I don't think we told anybody.
Nah.
Because people are like, hey, where are you guys? What's going on? Why aren't you there? What's happening? Where is everything? And, here we are. We're here. We just forgot to tell you that it's starting a half hour later than usual. But that's it. All right, so here's my somebody last week said, hey, you got to stop doing these medical things only because that just means more things are wrong with you. So people are concerned, which I guess is nice. But yes, I am now in a giant up to the knee boot and not a hip Nancy Sinatra. These boots were made for walking boot. One of these not that doesn't allow your leg to move boot. And if you long story short, it all stems from you'll remember the malady back in May when I had my toes operated on and pins stuck in my toes and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as that was winding down, my Achilles started killing me on my right foot, same foot with the toes. The doctor took an x-ray. It looks like there's a hook on the back of my heel. There's a bone spur back there that was rubbing on the Achilles, and they think that because I had changed my gait while I had the surgical shoe on after that surgery, it inflamed my Achilles tendon, which over the last 6 months, we've been trying different things to fix. Very minimal, just, while I'm sitting watching TV, I would put this thing on and I'd crank it and it would stretch my heel. And that was fine. But it got to the point where walking anywhere was misery. Like the whole time we were in Ireland, I was in agony. And I would, I couldn't walk like to exercise. I would dread walking anywhere, even upstairs from the family room to go upstairs to go to the bathroom. I was dreading. So finally I said, I can't live this way. And I went back to the doctor and he was like, okay, well, here's the deal. We're going to completely immobilize it. So you're not putting any stress on your Achilles. So now I'm wearing this boot and I'm going to physical therapy for my ankle. So this is pretty much every part of my body is breaking down.
Mm-hmm.
If I were a horse, Cody, you would have shot me already. And I wouldn't put it past you.
Well,
if you need to take me out and just put one in the back of my head, Old Yeller style, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Because everything's breaking down.
See, I'm just glad we do these minutes because I'm apparently the keeper of the Brian knowledge because I don't do social media really, except Twitter, which doesn't count. But my dad does, my family members that do, my wife does, and they're on the gram, and you're on the gram. So anytime you get injured, I hear about it from someone else before I hear it from you. So of course, Friday. My mom, you see her at a wedding. What happened to Brian? I don't know. What did happen to Brian? He's got his thing in a foot.
What didn't happen to Brian? Yeah, that should be the question now.
She's like, he's got his foot in a thing again. I'm like, what? How? I'll talk to him Monday. So yesterday, my wife and I are talking. And she's like, did you ever find out what happened to Brian? I'm like, no, I will talk to him tomorrow. It's not I don't know why it needs to be urgent for me to find out why you're injured the latest time. I talk to you
People
every
care. People
Monday.
care, Cody.
People
People care, I guess, more than you do, and that's becoming painfully obvious
Well,
over the
I
years.
weirdly no, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like if I find out why you're injured sooner, it won't actually help you get better sooner.
No, no, and this is, to be honest, this is more of just a pain in the ass rather than a
Mm,
treatment. It's not, it does. My foot feels great in this boot. I'm not in any pain, so that's good. But it's this giant thing. So now I can't drive in it. So when I walk out to the car, I have to sit in the back of my car, take the boot off, put on a surgical shoe. Then I get to wherever I'm going. I have to sit in the back of the car again. I have to take off the surgical shoe, put on the boot. Then I do it, and it's just so it's not like an injury that's horrible. They think everything's going to be fine in 4 to 6 weeks because it'll have given the Achilles enough time to rest
yeah.
and not be irritated. I'm like, well, that's great because in those 4 to 6 weeks, I will be extremely irritated, but thankfully my tendon will be calm and serene. The
Wait,
rest of me, forget about it.
are we live? I don't see any comments at all.
I don't either, but we are live. We have 12 people. Well, at this point, no, more people are jumping on. They're viewing, but
Mm,
I don't know. I
it's
don't know why.
Halloween. A lot of people
It
are
is
probably
Halloween. See,
watching
that's the
horror
thing.
movies and all that stuff.
It is Halloween, which is why we're dressed like this. I, of course, am Kevin the Minion from
Mm,
the Minion franchise. I wore this to school because today I taught. They called me last week and said, "Hey, can you please come in on Monday and teach? We really need you, but we also know that you like to dress up." So it's like we don't really know if you're qualified to be here, but we know you don't mind putting on a costume.
mm.
So so all the staff is dressing up as minions, and then the principal is going to be Gru, and the assistant principal is going to be Nosferatu. I can't remember Gru's sidekick. It's
Mm,
Nefarious. Nefario, that's it.
mm.
So the assistant principal was Nefario. All the teachers were minions, and then the principal was Gru. The principal, very dedicated, shaved his beard and everything off so he could look like Gru. It was
Wow.
crazy. Shaved his head, shaved his face, his beard, the whole nine,
Wow.
so he could look like Gru. But yeah, so the children, as is usually the case, didn't quite get the concept. I was with fifth graders and they're like, "Why are all their teachers dressed like minions?" I was like, "Think about it." I don't know. I said, "Well, what about Mr. S? He's dressed as Gru." Uh-huh. So, oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
Kids,
this
man.
is never mind. I can't get into it. So yeah, the only problem with this costume was well, I was gonna piece it together.
Mhm.
And then I was like, oh man, it's running into a lot of so I found this men's plus size minions costume online.
Yes.
And Debbie is like, you must buy the men's plus size minions costume instead of trying to find a yellow hat and a yellow shirt and some overalls and some goggles and blah, 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 blah. So here I am in the men's plus size, in the men's plus size minions costume, which must have freaked people out as I was driving. I didn't drive to school dressed like this, but I drove home from school dressed like this.
Mm.
And there may have been some road rage involved. And I can only imagine the people who I'm honking at and who are looking in their rearview mirror at this gigantic minion who's cursing up a blue streak, just going crazy. And yeah, but that's it. Now, you, as we've already mentioned, are one of my favorite people from the 100 Acre Woods.
Yeah.
How did this come to be?
Well, my wife's very pregnant, so she was
Yes.
going to be Winnie the Pooh. Obviously, makes sense. Perfect pregnant costume.
And she doesn't like to wear pants, just like Winnie the Pooh.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then my son was going to be Piglet, and I was going to be Tigger because I'm tall and I'm hyper.
Yes.
But then
You're
we couldn't
bouncy,
find.
fun.
I was very bouncy, fun. But my son, we could not find a Piglet costume on short notice, but there
Oh,
was
no.
there was a Tigger costume. So we looked, and it's nice because on Amazon you order them all from the same page.
Okay.
So the one Amazon listing has Pooh, Tigger, Eeyore, I I think a few other ones. I'm not sure. Maybe Rabbit.
Owl, Rabbit,
Maybe
Christopher
Owl.
Robin.
There is a Christopher Robin, which is super lame. It's just a yellow
Yeah.
shirt and jorts. Like what? She was like, our son could be Christopher Robin. I'm like, that's the most boring costume we could possibly dress him up as. We get that Tigger costume hanging up in his closet. We open the closet. He goes, Tigger. He's freaking out.
Oh,
so he was all about it. So we looked. There was an adult Eeyore. And I decided that we should pull the trigger on it.
Yeah, it looks good. Now that costume will last you, you know?
It will. So
you could be Eeyore forever.
So Brian, living downtown for as many years as we did, we had a lot of artsy friends.
Sure.
A lot of artsy, creative friends. And so for every year of my adult life, there has been tremendous pressure to do something very bespoke. You know what I mean? Something very custom.
Oh,
very
clever,
creative,
a homemade,
clever,
creative,
homemade,
costume.
crafty,
Sure.
etc.
Cardboard, maybe some paper mache.
Right.
Or something that'll make people go, I don't get it.
Maybe.
Okay.
Like I built my own Dr. Horrible costume back when you couldn't.
Oh, right. Yes.
Like the white Dr. Horrible costume. I had to get boots and spray paint them and goggles and you get all the different because you can't just, well, at the time you couldn't just go like Dr. Horrible costume. Oh, we'll send you a little package in a bag. No. You had to assemble it. And I did it. And then I did it again for the red Dr. Horrible, because in the last scene of the Dr. Horrible sing-along blog, he's wearing a red outfit. So I did the white one and the red one year, separate, 2 different years.
Wow.
When I was Chris Jericho, if you remember, I actually poked holes in a faux leather jacket. Yeah, and
I do remember that.
Super glued 3 strings of LED lights, hand super glued 300 LED lights into this thing so it would light up and glow. And of course, now one of the 3 strings is broken, so I can't even wear it. But that kind of thing. So this year, it's literally we just ordered these, and my wife is like, we need to do this every time. It's great.
Yeah.
It's like 10, 15, 20 bucks maybe on Amazon. Comes to you, you throw it on, you got the whole thing. You're good.
You didn't get that costume for 15 or 20 bucks.
It was pretty cheap.
Really?
It was quite cheap. Yeah.
My Minions costume was 60 bucks, but it's plus size.
I might be wrong. I
would have guessed that's about the same price. That's a furry looking velveteen Eeyore you're wearing.
I do not
with a full character head.
I did not believe it was 60. Let me look at my orders.
Hold on. I have to excuse myself. Gidget is whining outside the door, and it is driving me crazy. So if you'll excuse me for 1 second.
Oh my goodness. All right. We'll spend this time. Okay. So the Pooh costume was $32.99. All right. Still not that bad. Your costume was.
You can't get up and leave now.
Well, it's out of stock now. $32.99. Also, it's labeled donkey.
Oh my goodness! I heard you whining out there.
It's just labeled donkey on this website. Okay, so they were each $32. The Tigger one might have been a little cheaper since it was a children's.
Well, yeah, it's a child suit.
Sure, you got really loud all of a sudden.
Yeah, because I'm angry.
Oh wow.
No, I'm not angry. I'm just coming in hot. Coming in hot after.
No, actually, his was about the same price. Okay, so all right, whatever, $33 a piece. That's $100 for the whole thing.
That's not bad at all.
No,
and now the new one, you just figure out something that matches.
The new what?
When you have your baby.
Oh, when we have the new baby.
Next year you'll have a baby. You'll have to add somebody else to the 100-acre. Maybe your wife changes from Winnie the Pooh to Kanga, and then Kanga and Roo.
There you go. Ooh, I like that.
I was thinking.
Well, and this was actually, my wife actually had 3 Halloween costumes this year. She did a lot.
What?
We went to
How can that be?
A very good friend's wedding. Friend Max got married on Friday. Beautiful wedding up in Madison. And he is a big time history buff. And he's a strategy board gamer. And he has this board game called Churchill that's terrible.
Okay.
It's the worst strategy board game
ever.
Did
he create it?
No, it's really weird. And the rules are convoluted, but and he likes Winston Churchill, I guess. And so he knows history. So I said, his wedding invitation said formal attire or costumes encouraged.
Oh, right. You mentioned that this was going to happen. So all right.
So, all right. Am I going to show up in an Eeyore onesie to a wedding? I don't know. Maybe. Now, clearly it was on the invitation, but I decided to hedge our bets and go low risk And what I said was, if we all dress up as Winston Churchill, the whole family, all three of us, then we'll technically be formally dressed, but also in costume. It'll be great.
I cover killing two birds, proverbial
Yes.
with one
Yes.
stone.
So we cobbled together a couple three-piece suits, which hard to find for a 8-month pregnant woman, believe it or not.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that you can't
Yeah.
just find a nice woolen tweed for a lady.
Not a huge market for that, but
Okay.
she was able to find some stuff. She actually, frankly, looked like she was the best Winston Churchill out of the three of us because of again the pregnancy action going on.
Oh, right.
Because
Churchill was a little, a little belly.
she's definitely showing, right? 8 months. I mean, she's doing 6 weeks, so we're getting there. Okay, like this is the point where they start to, she's starting to feel big. Like, oh boy, a flight of stairs is a little bit more of a challenge than it needs to be. And she looked great. So we all looked tremendous. We ordered these little like $5. These actually were like, maybe it was $8 pocket watches from Amazon, super cheap. Mine stopped working before the wedding was even started, I think. And there were people dressed as like, actually all my buddies' college friends showed up as Mario, Luigi, Toad, Princess, like Bowser.
Really?
Yeah, the whole Mario gang.
Oh,
Probably
geez.
70% of attendees were in costume. So very festive, very fun. But we did Winston Churchill. And then when my wife taught yoga, she wore a cape. And I guess she was like vampire yoga teacher.
Okay.
Because she was teaching hot yoga. She's like, I can't wear the poo costume or I'll die of sweat.
Yes, literally, you will evaporate.
And then we did these. So very, very festive around here. It was a good time.
Yeah. How'd the once after seeing the Tigger costume in the closet and getting excited, did that translate over to wearing the Tigger costume?
Translated, wearing it and running around in our driveway like a madman.
Nice.
Great. And, he's too young to, well, we shouldn't be feeding him candy. But, here's a question for you and the listener and viewer, etc. By the way, hello, Christine, JP, Sandy,
Yes,
Cindy.
hello, everyone.
Thanks for chiming in, letting us know you joined us live. Appreciate it. Yeah. So, there's a whole thing with like, don't let the kids eat all the candy at the same time. How many adults take that advice? Really? Because I'm not one of them. I tell you, we get it out. Oh, I'll have a little bite. Oh, some trick-or-treaters came. Better have another Kit Kat. Oh, my son's going trick-or-treating. Oh, better grab a Twix before we hit the road. Okay, we walked around the block. Now I'm back. Ooh, look, we have a Milky Way. Let me grab one of those. Ryan, I ate more candy today than most of the kids on this block, probably.
Probably. I was so proud of us. We did not open any of the bags of the candy we had bought. And I bought the candy a couple weeks ago. It was in the closet. I had forgotten about it. We didn't open any, I think last night. No, we didn't even open it last night. We didn't open any of the candy until today. Molly, however, yesterday afternoon went, we had been talking about candy, different, she had posed if you could only have 5 candies for the rest of your life, what would they be? Halloween kind of candies. And so we started having this debate, and then she went to Target and came back with a smaller bag of like Butterfingers and Baby Ruths. And what else is there? And then she got a bag. Oh, the worst candy ever. Dots. Those, oh God, they're horrible. But she and Debbie was eating them like they had some sort of vaccine in them last night. She must have, and I wish I was exaggerating. She must have eaten 10 of those little fun-sized boxes of Dots. She was out of control. I was looking at her thinking she just was going to put that box over her ears like a feed bag and just. So, but now today, I'm making my lunch to go to school. Let me throw in an Almond Joy and a Snickers. Just a little. Oh, they're fun size. It's one bite. What's the big deal? Then I come home and I'm like, oh man, oh, look at that, a York peppermint patty. That's fantastic. So I'm like you. I'm grazing, and you think because they're small, it's okay. How many of these small ones do I need to eat to make a full candy bar? I probably haven't eaten a full candy bar. I've probably eaten 18 full candy bars. But it's a weird Frankenstein hybrid candy bar of Butterfinger and Nestle's Crunch and Almond Joys, and then a Snickers thrown in. And then last night, Molly brought me some candy corn. So so I have to stop. But thankfully, we were very bored. Now, all right, let me ask you this. How does it work at your house? Because do you both do you leave your bowl of candy on the porch and you both take your son wandering around, or does one of you stay home and the other one goes out? How did that work?
Well, first of all, the costumes were too hot to wear inside.
Okay.
I basically turned off our heat, and I'm sitting in here and I'm dying. So I was like, let's just put a couple chairs on the other thing is our door is a little awkward for trick-or-treaters because there's there's the driveway and then a
Mhm.
narrow, very short, like 5 sidewalk blocks. Narrow, short path to get to the porch. You go up 2 stairs and then you ring the doorbell. But then the door swings. So you step on the porch, the door's on your right, but the door is pretty close to the steps and it
Mhm.
opens out on the left. The storm door opens out on the left. So you're kind of
Yes.
pushing, you got to kind of step back to the edge of it's just weird. The
Yeah.
logistics don't work. And then when you get a big group, it doesn't work at all. And then it's just stupid. So it was very warm out. It was like what, 70 today, probably
Yeah,
65.
in the 60s, it was nice.
And we had the warm onesies. So we put a couple rockers out at the end of our driveway, the near our garage door, that
Sure,
part of the
yeah, yeah.
driveway. And we just sat there with a bowl of candy. And then occasionally she's like, okay, I'm going to go to a few houses with him. Okay. All right. I'll be out here. And then she'd come back and then I might walk a couple with him. But we just kind of did it that way. I was frankly happy just sitting there. And I did adapt to the suburban trick or treat life. And I did drink a Death Star from Revolution Brewing, my good friends at Revolution. Had myself a little Death Star while I was sitting out there. So
Welcome to the suburbs.
yeah, let's go, dude. So I enjoyed myself a nice wintry stout I probably drank it over like a 2.5 hour period. So
Yeah.
I gotta space it out. And my 2 of my neighbors were just walking around with bottles of Corona, just like up and down, not even a koozie or anything. Because last year I shared this on the podcast. I learned that every single parent in our neighborhood walked around with a koozie with a beer,
Yeah.
but they just unabashedly were just walking around with 2 Coronas.
Well,
I
it's
gotta say
warmer
though,
today.
much warmer today. I gotta say, I'm sure you probably got a deluge of trick or treaters with the chocolate factory, but we had it was like a drought. We probably had a third as many trick or treaters as we had last year.
What?
I don't know what happened. It
The
was
weather was
beautiful. The
fantastic.
weather was great. We're sitting out there the whole time. Last year, I'm telling you, man, we were slammed. I mean, there were probably 200 trick or
Whoa.
treaters that hit our place. This year is maybe 60 to 80 at the most.
Wow.
Weird. How about you?
That
It's
is
about the same
weird.
as last year?
Well, I wanted to say this. You oftentimes are incredulous about how alike we really are, like things in our house and stuff like that. Uh, our screen door is the same as yours. It opens out to the left, and it is very awkward for trick or treating because we have one little like step in front of the door, and it opens to the left, and then the kids got to come around. It's a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
So I was standing out there for a while. I would go out and I'd stand, and then I got a chair and I just sat out there, which is why my face is burning. It's all windburned. But I sat out there, and Debbie and Molly were, looking out the window, and everybody was watching out the window. But I love giving out the candy, and they're like, "You're going to sit out here?" And I said, "Yeah." I was in my Minion costume, and the little kids were coming up. Oh, Minion, Minion, Minion. So yes, I was the same as you. My awkward door, except I did not drink. I didn't.
Mm.
Well, because I got to be honest, this Minion costume fastens in the back, and I can't, like, it's hard to get out of it to go to the bathroom. It was
Mm.
a challenge at school to, I got to shimmy out of it, then I got to try to get it back up and over my shoulders and all kind of craziness. But we did have a lot. This is the first year we don't have any candy to take back to Costco. So I'm sure Costco very happy to hear that they won't be seeing my ugly mug tomorrow with bags of candy to bring back. So this one we had a lot because we started out with like 700 pieces of candy, and we were given like 2 a piece. We must have had 250 trick-or-treaters
Nice.
because we didn't have too much left in this last bag, and we didn't eat too much out of the bag. So the kids were coming. And then so we stayed open for business till 8 o'clock, because that's trick-or-treating's over at 8. So we closed up shop, and at 8:20 there was a knock at the door, and I was up here getting things ready, and I was like, if you want to answer it, answer it. Like, no, we're not answering the door. So I don't know. 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock is late enough for trick or
Ours
treat.
was ours was 3 to 7.
Oh wow.
Yeah. 3 a bit
Yeah,
early.
ours started at 3 o'clock too, and I'm like, 3 o'clock. The kids are in school at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, no mistake. I mean, only like a couple kids came before 4, but yeah, we at 6:59, 2 kids came. They had come about 2 hours prior. I don't know if
Ah,
they thought I forgot them, but I just gave them a bunch of candy, what the heck. It's a good strategy to go out till the very end, right? Because if you're
right.
like 2 minutes under the wire, we were just like, just grab whatever you want, They probably
Yeah,
took 2
take it.
handfuls each. It's a smart strategy, but as soon as they left, I waited a minute and then I flicked off the garage light and all the outside lights,
Oh,
turned off the lamp.
see, Molly was like, "Should we turn off the decorations?" I was like, "No, leave the decorations on."
See, we don't. The only decoration you can really see from the outside that lights up is a plastic jack o' lantern we have in the window of the upstairs. So the jack o' lantern's right there in the window. Looks great. So we
Yeah.
kept that on, but we don't have any spotlights or ghosts or any of
Oh,
that
see,
stuff.
I'm always happy every year because people stop and they take pictures of my yard. They take pictures of their kids on my yard. I get compliments on my yard because I'm empty inside. You know that,
Right,
Cody.
right,
So I
right.
need the approval of strangers to make me feel whole.
I'm
And
Eeyore.
right, yeah. So what I'm talking about, Eeyore.
Yeah.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Uh,
brother.
so yeah, I'm always excited. And then Debbie and Molly, they're listening, and kids are coming up and going, "Hi, Mr. Minion. Oh, you're so cute. We love your costume." And I know they're just in there going, son of a. But I love it. I love being out there. I've softened because of all the social media uh, posts and reminders that some kids will not say trick or treat. I've softened my stance on making kids say trick or treat. I don't care now. Want to come up, you're a little kid, whatever. I don't know. Carrying a blue pumpkin, that's cool. Everybody gets candy from me. You're 17. I don't know. You're not blowing my house up here. Have a couple fun-sized Snickers bars. Doesn't hurt me at all.
You're better than me. I thought about 40% of the kids said thank you, and I hated all the rest of the 60. The other 60.
We had a lot of thank yous, a lot of very
didn't.
polite kids this year.
Well, no, we didn't. We got a lot of kids out here that suck. We had 2 groups of,
Yeah.
teenagers that basically are wearing a t-shirt and like maybe like a watch. And they'd be like, oh, my costume's the guy that wears a watch. And they bring like a pillowcase and they try and grab like 10 pieces of candy. Just get out of here. They don't say,
You let them put their hands near your bowl?
yeah,
That's a mistake.
there. One of them, I was like, nice costume. He's like, thanks. So
I'm
walks
coming
away.
back to burn down your house, old man.
Dude, crazy.
That's when you feel like an old man.
Well, hey, let's make it interactive. In the chat, pop, just jot down what's the coolest costume you saw that came by. What's the coolest costume you saw that came by, Brian?
Tonight there were some good superhero ones. I saw a lot of Stitch, from Lilo and Stitch. I saw a lot of Spider-Man, lots of Spider-Man.
Tons. I saw like
Yep.
10 Spider-Man.
I don't know if there was a liquidation sale on Spider-Man costumes, all different styles from the OG Spider-Man to like a high-tech Spider-Man that had like an Iron Man light in his chest. There was a lot of Spider-Man. At school, there were also a lot of inflatable costumes. A lot of the inflatable dinosaurs, inflatable shark eating a man, inflatable alien carrying a man in front of him. What other inflatables did I say? An astronaut. Then there was the one kid in my class today had made a kiwi costume with his mom. And he put it on to show me, and I go, "Oh, aren't there holes for your arms?" He goes, "Kiwis don't have arms." I'm like, "All right, Mr. National Geographic, but how are you going to get your candy if you're walking around in like a woolly cocoon with a big horn on your head?" So that was good. And then there was one kid who was a Rubik's Cube, like a homemade big giant Rubik's Cube, which was cool, but I'm not sure how he navigated being in class all day. He wasn't in my room, so I don't know what his deal was. but those were good. Did anybody come to your door that you went, oh, this kid is classic?
Not really. There was a baby Tigger who was adorable. My favorite costume, and this is for a very stupid reason, was this probably like 11-year-old girl came up. She was wearing soccer shorts and a soccer jersey, and her face was all white and painted white. And she goes up, and all her friends she had like 5 friends, and they're all princesses. And she comes up first before they were all lagging behind at the end of the driveway. And she goes, thanks. Do you know who I am? And I was like, zombie soccer player. And she's like, and it was like her birthday had just happened. She's like, you're the first person that's known that. See, guys, I told you, or something like that. So apparently I made her day, and that was fun.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of good costumes. So I went to a small, actually mid-sized costume party in Chicago on Saturday with some friends.
Man, you are out and socializing.
You
are living the life.
A lot of costume action. But there was a guy there dressed like Darby Allin, the pro wrestler from AEW.
Oh, that's over my head.
Well, so he's standing there, and we're standing there in the kitchen getting some snacks. And I get there, and I go, is that Darby Allin? And he looked at me like it was his birthday because it's such a niche costume. Like I'm the only guy, I'm sure, all weekend that said, oh my God. And I was like excited about it. So we talked about how CM Punk is stupid for a little bit. And then we moved on. And there are a couple other pretty good costumes at that party. But I like those moments where because when I was Dr. Horrible, no, not a single person knew who I was the first year I was Dr. Horrible. One person thought I was a sperm, because it was an all white costume with a lab coat.
Yeah.
And I had goggles. So I guess maybe if I was artistic, I think maybe one person on a street somewhere was like, oh, Dr. Horrible. And I was like, that's great. And that's why I kept wearing it to Gen Con, because at Gen Con, 90% of people know you're Dr. Horrible.
Everybody knew at Gen Con.
But I appreciate the niche costumes, because having worn them before, when someone recognizes you, it makes your day. But you're also kind of making their day.
Yeah.
Like, I've had people come up and hug me at Gen Con being like, Dr. Horrible, oh my God. And like random people, because they're so excited to see like that thing they like represented. So I'm all about the narrow casting, as we call it in the podcast realm.
Now, how was your Eeyore received today?
It was fine. No one cared. I was Eeyore. It's a onesie.
People
thought my wife looked cute. My son was adorable. I was Eeyore.
And you're just Eeyore. Metallica guy giving us a happy Halloween. Happy Halloween, Metallica guy. Gina said her daughter was Stitch and her son was a vending machine.
Nice.
Yeah. What kind of vending machine?
I know.
A cigarette machine? That would be old school.
I did
cigarette machine.
I did see a cute couple's costume, and it was the guy was an Amazon delivery driver with like the whole costume getup, and his wife was just wearing all brown with like an Amazon box laid over her, so she was the box.
Nice.
Stupid,
wow, there's phrasing. Unbelievable. So many things I could say.
That's right.
Walter was a dinosaur with light up Stegosaurus things on his back.
That's amazing. Your wife and daughter didn't dress up?
No, they refused. Molly was wearing a Halloween Land shirt, a sweatshirt, some Halloween themed sweatshirt. Debbie refused. She has like a dinosaur onesie. I was like, why don't you put on the dinosaur onesie? You could stand outside with Walter. So you could be nerds. But no, she was having none of it this year. And she has in the past played along. But she knew she couldn't compete with the Minion. So she was out. That was that. And so Walter was and the neighbors have 2 little tiny dogs, the yappiest dog. See, I complain about Walter yapping. He's like a mime compared to these 2 dogs. They're nuts, but they went as ketchup and mustard.
Oh, nice. Classic.
Yeah. Classic. So that was nice. Oh, all right. Gina says his friends went as soda cans and chips, so it was a theme. Ah, there you go. Okay. Very nice.
Our next door neighbor, his parents came over to help hand out candy while he went with his kids. They got 3 kids.
Oh, nice.
And his parents brought over their dog, and the dog was howling like somebody was beating it with a stick.
Oh my God.
And we were trying to figure out what was going on, and it turns out it's because the dog is part beagle.
Yes.
Now,
Beagles are notoriously loud.
I lived with a beagle for 1 year in the city, and it was the worst. I
Really?
don't like beagles. They're so loud and annoying and yappy and
Don't let
whiny.
Roger hear you say that.
Does
That's
he
the
have a
kind of
beagle?
dog he's got is a beagle.
That's
A
what he
rescue
got?
beagle. Yep.
Oh my God, I didn't realize it was a beagle. That's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
He got him. Oh boy.
I
Now
mean,
you're digging yourself a hole.
maybe if the beagle isn't really whiny, it's fine. But the particular beagle I lived with was just like the second the owner would leave, my roommate, it would just howl for like an hour, just
Ugh.
nonstop. And it's just like, shut up, you stupid dog. But
Yeah, that's horrible.
but
Walter
dude,
was very quiet today.
good.
Gidget we had to bring in because Gidget went out in the backyard, and so she was standing at the fence and was barking at everybody that came up. And I'm
Mm.
like, you don't usually bark at anybody, Gidget. Why you? But all of a sudden, it's like Walter was fine with the little kids. He loved it. But then if like a teenager in a mask came up, that's when he lost his mind. But he sat in the living room window on the back of the love seat and just looked out the window and watched all the trick-or-treaters.
Hmm.
So it was fun. We had, it was a good Halloween. We tried to relive, like, I don't know if you did this when you were a kid. When we were a kid, it was always kind of the same thing on Halloween night as far as dinner went. For a long time, before Home Run Inn was a chain or had their pizzas in the store that you could buy frozen pizzas, you could get a frozen pizza, but you had to go to the original Home Run Inn on 31st Street. And so every year, my grandpa would bring us a bunch of Home Run Inn frozen pizzas. And so we'd have frozen pizza on Halloween, and we'd just take a break and we'd have a piece of pizza, and then we'd go back out trick or treating. And then, like when Molly was born, Debbie started making chili every Halloween. So Molly was going to be here today, and she said to Debbie, "Oh, I want chili." The problem is we just had chili last week, and I ate the leftovers for like 3 days. So I was chilied out. So Debbie's like, "Well, we're not going to have chili. I'm going to get a couple frozen Home Run Inn pizzas, so it'll be like when you were a kid." I was like, "Oh, isn't that nice?"
Nice.
I came home today. What's on the counter? Big crock pot of chili. I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Oh, but I got the Home Run Inn pizzas too." So there's
nice.
frozen Home Run Inn pizza and chili, and it was very, very reminiscent of all of our childhoods, except for Debbie. I don't know what Debbie. I don't know if they ate when they went for Halloween in Michigan. I don't know what they did.
Yeah.
But,
I don't have any Halloween traditions. I mean, my Halloween tradition for 15 years was go out in the streets of Chicago and try to just look at as many hot women as possible. And as a guy in his 20s, I don't feel bad saying that. I don't feel ashamed.
No, you shouldn't.
Because that's, that was an important thing, a part of my life.
And let's be honest, the ladies are dressing that way, not for any sort of unsolicited attention or that, but they don't, if you're dressed as a slutty nurse and somebody happens to look at you, not make lewd comments or anything. Don't get all up in arms.
Respectfully leer at you.
Respectfully looks over and goes, "Wow, that woman's very attractive." It's kind of the point.
Halloween is probably the most sexually charged holiday.
Oh, it's very, very
St. Patrick's Day.
That and Hanukkah.
Well, okay. So it depends on how much what the dreidel lands on and what kind of if you're doing like a Kama Sutra dreidel.
You could get a lot for those chocolate coins, man. That gelt. You can make a lot of trades.
I don't know what gelt is.
That's the coins, the chocolate coins.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
good. And as soon as we bring up hot girls, the YouTube the YouTube spam
the YouTube spam from girls4.xyz. New, dating for all tastes and ages. How about donkeys? Does it do donkeys?
Well, they are blocked. Yeah, you're right. St. Patrick's Day comes in second because St. Patrick's Day is just a big drinking holiday. But Halloween gives people, both men and women, an excuse to let their freak flag fly. Well,
what?
Yeah, sure that. I was just saying dress up, slutty. But yeah, they can have sex with strangers.
Have sex with strangers.
Yeah.
And you didn't even need to know who they are. In fact, not only do you not have to know their name, you don't have to know what they look like if they wear the mask on the whole time.
You can wake up the next morning and go, I don't know, I think I had sex with Eeyore. And then your doctor goes, "Oh bother, you have an
Oh.
STD.
Bother, not chlamydia.
Oh bother, I hope you used Plan B. Oh bother."
Well, now that I have kids, obviously Halloween traditions will be different than just looking at
Much
hot
different.
people.
Yeah, I've noticed when you're living in the suburbs, or there's not, or you're taking your kids trick or treating or giving out candy. There's not a lot of the slutty costumes coming down the street.
Not so much.
I didn't see one hot mouse, naughty witch, nothing.
Yeah.
Because I don't go out to the bar parties. I don't need that kind of attitude.
Nah, but
Just an old man minion
we'll
wandering around.
we'll develop our Halloween traditions as the kids get older, because this
Yes.
is our last year with just one kid.
That's right. Next year it'll be the stroller and your son running around and you're pushing the baby. Are you going to be one of those parents who have a bag for the baby? Because that's the only thing still about Halloween that bothers me. Adults coming up today with bags. I gave them the candy. I don't care. But there's a part of me that's like, you're an adult. And there were no other kid. Like, they came with their kids. Their kids all had bags, and then they had a bag.
Weird.
I'm like, hey, man, steal your kids' candy like everybody else. Don't take my candy. The whole reason you have 3 kids is so you have an unlimited supply of Halloween candy.
Right.
Because those kids are going to go to sleep tonight. And then you rifle through those bags, you skim off every year, the house gets 20%, and that's it. But yeah, please don't be that person who goes, this is for my baby. Really? I don't think your baby's eating Snickers bars.
No.
So
Stupid.
promise me that.
Promise me.
Tell me you'll do it. All right. There we go. That's Halloween.
Next topic.
Oh, did you buy Powerball tickets?
Last week I was feeling depressed, so I bought a Powerball, a Mega Millions, and a Lucky Lotto just because.
And
I didn't really care about the jackpot size. I'm just like, someone let me win money. Immediately after buying them, I'm like, I know not a single number will match. And hey, I hit the jackpot with that one because I was right, because they never matched.
None of them matched, huh?
Let me tell you how I learned that it is totally stupid to ever play these stupid games.
A fool's errand.
You know it is too.
I do.
In critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV, which includes a free trial with unlimited playtime up to level 60 and includes the award-winning first expansion, Heaven's Ward. In that game, you can go to the gold. Don't worry, you'll catch up.
I don't know any of the words you just said.
It's great. You can go to the gold saucer and you can buy a jumbo cactpot ticket. It is 4 digits from 0 to 9. And you get 3 tickets a week. So you've got a 1 in 9,999 chance of winning, roughly, right? Or 1 in 10,000, something.
I don't know.
I don't know what it is, whatever. But there's only
math now.
You're talking 0 to 9,999 numerically, right? So
yeah,
there's that. Maybe with different combinations, it's different, but it doesn't matter. Look, the point is, there's only 4 numbers, and they're all 1 through 10. And I have played every week. I have played Jumbo Cactpot every week for probably 4 years. I'll log in the game, buy 3 tickets, and then come back. And they match 1 out of every probably 21 to 25 tickets I get. One number. I have once in 4 years had 2 numbers match. So when I go over to the Powerball or Mega Millions, and it's like, oh, by the way, there's like 6 numbers and they're 1 through like 65. I'm like, there's no way. Nothing's ever going to match. And I understand statistics and blah, blah, blah. But come on. So I bought it knowing it was a waste of money. And then it was. And was it fun? I don't know. Is it fun? That's the thing, Brian. I'm not even drinking right now. I feel like I should be. That's the thing, Brian. If you buy it and it's fun, it's worth it. Right? Because you're not going to win. No one ever
is. Is daydream fun for you? Is it fun to dream?
Fun. Daydream's fun. So like it is, but like I've lost so many virtual lotteries in Final Fantasy XIV now I just know, like, I just know how bad the chances are, right? How bad the odds are. And when you know how bad the odds are and they're internalized, you can't fool yourself. If you don't really think about it, you just walk in, you go, I'll get a ticket, maybe I'll win. Then, like, great. Like, you'll have some fun and you'll daydream, and then, like, your soul will be crushed when you lose. Um, but for me, I just don't know if I can enjoy it anymore. What I do want to do is start buying those $20 raffle tickets they do every, like, Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
They used to do that. Do they still do that?
Yeah, like the $1 million raffle ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I want to start doing that. I need to go to 7-Eleven, get me some of that. But anyway, that was a lot of information that was totally unnecessary. How's your reality,
No,
Brian? Does
I
it
was
vary?
listening, and no, my it varies a little because I don't usually play. I do always get swept up in these giant things,
Mm,
knowing that I'm not going to win. The odds, may the odds be ever in your favor, as they said in Hunger Games. They are not in our favor, but that's okay. You know, I twice I bought twice last week, and we bought today, and it $10. For $10 for a few minutes, I can be a billionaire. Even though I know in reality, I'm never going to be a billionaire. I'm not going to win this thing, but somebody wins it. That's
yeah.
the thing that keeps you. It's like the junkies. That's what keeps you coming back. Somebody's going to win. And, now it's always somebody in rural Pennsylvania or somewhere in, the bowels of Arizona. It's never somebody who bought it at the Jewel in, Galewood. But who knows? Who knows? It might be me. And then we always do the same platitude. Can't win if you don't play.
Right.
Blah. But I would never. I think the most I've ever spent on a big jackpot is $20.
Mm,
But so this week, so today I said to Debbie, when it went, we bought twice last week, it was $10. So I'm leaving for school today, and she was working from home. And I said, "Are you going to get the Powerball ticket?" She said, "Yeah." All right. I go, "Why don't you do $20?" "I'm not doing $20. I'll do 10." I was like, "All right, fine, 10." Guess if we're gonna win, we'd win with 10 just as well as we'd win with 20. But if we buy the 10 and then the next guy only buys $1 or $2 worth, because you got to buy $2 line, and he wins it, and we could have bought it, we could have won for $10 more or $2 more, and you cheaped out. Well, then hope you're happy.
You know, the times and when I have done it, when it hit $1 billion and I was at a consulting firm, I did do the pool with the group to buy,
Oh, okay.
like, we bought like 100 tickets or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Those I'm into. And I get everything in writing. I make sure everyone emails. I have them sign something so that
Really?
everything. Oh yeah, you got to be litigious about this,
Yeah,
Brian.
that's true.
Because I mean, and you got to even have the people that don't play sign and say, like, hey, I'm not going to sue you guys, basically,
Yeah.
if you win, right? Because that happens, right? 5 people on marketing,
Yeah, the
split the
one
ticket.
day, I always play, and I was off that day because my kid
Right.
was sick, so I didn't get my money in, and now I'm what?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm pretty hardcore about that kind of stuff. Now they'll still sue, right? That would just
Mhm.
happen. But anyway, so I like this split pool things. I'll do that with friends or a group. But
Yeah, I was
yeah,
surprised nobody like that I know asked to go in on anything. It was like, every man and woman for themselves.
I guess.
I don't know. I don't think I would. I don't know. I never check. Like,
You didn't even check?
no.
How do you,
The tickets are down on the counter. I don't know. I might go to the store tomorrow and, then I do the machine, and I'm always paranoid that the machine is going to lie. So I make sure I don't hand the ticket over, even if it says it's a loser. I don't hand it over to the guy behind the counter because I think it's a scam. Like that I did win, and he's going, "Oh no, your ticket's a loser." And I go, "What? Oh man, okay, here, can you throw this away?" "Sure, I can." Wah, wah, wah. Next day he's gone. "Hey, what happened to Joe? Used to worked here for years." "Yeah, he won the lottery." "Oh, is that right?" "Yeah, yeah, yeah. Some sucker gave him this ticket."
mm,
So yeah, I will check them. We got a bunch. They've been sitting around. I did a few months ago. I think I won $4 one time.
ooh.
Yeah, so I was rolling.
I
I was
X
rolling.
accidentally, well, I put a $20 bill in one of those machines. I think it used to be like a tradition when I crossed the Iowa-Illinois border to and from the college. I just buy a ticket,
A lottery
whatever,
ticket?
lottery ticket, just like a
Okay.
scratch off, usually like $1, $2. I kind of broke even over the years, right? Like lose a bunch and then I'd like win $10 one time. It's like, cool, okay, I'll buy more. One time I put a 20 into the machine or a 10, I think. I didn't know it didn't give change. So I'm like, I'll
Okay.
put in a 10, I'll buy like a $2 ticket and then get change. Oh, I can't get change. Okay. I guess I'll just spend the
Yeah,
rest
they
or
don't
whatever.
give you change. They
Yeah.
want your money. Now, wait a minute. Sandy is saying there was a $1 billion winner at the Des Plaines Speedway. That is not tonight. No, because tonight the drawing hasn't happened yet.
Mm.
Really? See, I got to go to Des Plaines to the Speedway.
You do.
I always do that too. Try to figure out where I should buy it. Like I'll never buy it out of the machine. You know, at Jewel and stuff, they have the lottery
Yeah,
machines.
why not?
No, it doesn't seem that. You don't hear of winners coming out of those. Nobody wins at the grocery store checkout machine.
Hmm.
They win at gas stations or liquor stores or a convenience store. So I'm always on the lookout for gas stations, liquor stores, and convenience stores to buy my tickets.
True.
It was the Mega Millions a few weeks ago. Really? Wow.
Well, I put the $10 bill. It didn't give me the change, so I got like 3 tickets, and one of them won $20. So it came up 10.
Look at you.
Came up 10 ahead. The other thing is, so I went to the Illinois lottery actually lets you essentially automatically buy tickets. I tried this. I went to the Illinois lottery, whatever website.
I gotta
and I'm
take
like,
these goggles off. They're killing me.
Okay.
I'm like pressing up against my glass.
Oh, yeah, I know that's uncomfortable. So I go to the website, and on the website, there should be a way. I think I've told this story many moons ago. Should be a way where you put in your numbers and you say, I just want to buy these same numbers every week for the year.
Really?
And if you do that, it's like $100, right? Because it's like $2 a ticket. It's $100, and you're in every week for the year, right?
Okay.
And you set the numbers on this website, so you're always playing the same numbers. You don't have to like go to the place and pick blah blah blah. So I tried doing this for months when I lived in the city, and you had to verify your address to verify you were an Illinois resident. It refused to acknowledge where I lived. And, I moved around apartments a lot. Brian, I tried
you're wanted.
I tried every apartment address and my parents' home address that I had ever lived in. I tried different zip codes. I tried the specific zip codes. At no point, I put the thing that was on my tax form. At no point did they ever accept my address. They just didn't believe that I lived in Illinois, so I never did it. Now that I have a mortgage and I'm paying one, I am going to try it again. I'm going to put those numbers in. I'm going to try to automatically buy it. And for $100 a year, you just sit back, and think about it. You're like, yeah, maybe I'll win something. Probably not. Terrible investment. You'd be much better putting it in the bank and just accruing $3 invest, whatever. But it's fun, right? So I may try that again. But man, that was frustrating. I hope.
Yeah, you got to. I wonder if there's another guy with your name who is some ne'er-do-well.
No one would be ne'er-do-welling as near as me.
Yeah, maybe you had too many addresses. They were like, this guy's a flight risk.
I'm a flight risk.
Can I circle back quickly to a topic from before?
No.
All right.
Oh, now you can.
I was thinking of this today as I was passing out candy and watching the children come up. You weren't giving out candy-colored fentanyl at your house, were you?
Oh, God. It's just
I was getting so tired of these news reports talking about people giving out drugs and fentanyl and everything else to the kids. I'm like, nobody's giving out drugs and fentanyl to your children. Well, every newscast. Oh, be careful. There's candy. They've made this fentanyl look like candy, and the people may give it to children.
Why?
And then the more they're talking about this stuff, I'm like, you're talking about people who leave it out at their house. Well, there's cannabis gummies and blah, blah, blah. And children can get their hands on them. I'm thinking, nobody's giving out cannabis gummies for Halloween or fentanyl. It was ridiculous. So there you go.
I agree.
I was just disgusted.
Yeah, I mean, in our neighborhood, that's stupid. It's stupid. Anyway, moving on. Well, that's all I got to say about the Powerballs.
All right. I know you're going to have something to say about this.
Oh, my God.
Because you love to tweet on the twit.
The
bird is freed, and let that sink in. your man Elon Musk has now taken over Twitter, and people are fleeing. They're somewhere. They're fleeing Twitter, and everybody who leaves social media needs to tell us that they're leaving social media, and we don't care if you're leaving social media. Just leave social media. But yes, have you abandoned your Twitter? Have you given up?
No.
Right.
Next question.
Are you going to give up?
No. Next question.
Do you think Elon Musk is good for Twitter?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, in what way?
Well, you said yes. You tell me how.
Did you hear about the checkmark thing?
I heard that. Now, I heard that he wants to have people pay.
Yeah.
But I thought that was for that Twitter Blue.
Oh, that wasn't him. That was before him.
Right. But so he wants, no, all right, explain it. Because I saw that and I was like, wait a minute. We've been Twitter verified for years and years. We got the blue check mark back in the day. It's been the one thing that Molly and her friends thought was cool about me, that I was Twitter verified.
Yes.
Okay. I don't want to lose that. I can't.
Okay. All right. So several places reported on this, including CNN, The Verge, lots of other places. So on Twitter, I'm going to have to provide some context for this, Brian.
Please do. I'm going to sit back and listen.
Because Twitter,
for my answer.
I've spent a lot of time on Twitter. Twitter, like most social media, have kind of a culture. There is a culture. There are norms. There's things that you would post on Facebook that you wouldn't post on LinkedIn, vice versa.
Correct.
Right. So I've been in that. How long have you been on Twitter, Brian? Probably 15 years now.
Yeah.
Close, 12 at least, 13. So we've been on Twitter for a long time. You see the way people talk, the way people interact on Twitter. If you have a blue check mark, which means you have a verified account, you are higher status. You are of higher social status.
Damn right we are.
You get better customer service when you complain to brands.
Yes, you do.
You show up in people's inboxes. People's inboxes actually have verified tabs so that if I only want to see stuff from verified accounts, I can see it. It's a big deal. It used to be really hard to get.
Yeah.
Took Brian and I a long time. There was a really skilled and talented social media manager at WGN Radio who got all the hosts and producers a check mark. That's the only reason we have them. I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember. I thought it was somebody that was only around for like a year or two. Or something. I'm probably making that up. I'm probably misremembering. We were there forever. So
we were there a long time till they unceremoniously dumped us. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
So
I was just looking to make sure I still had my check. I do.
Yeah, you do. So it's a big thing. The other thing is it verifies that you are that person, right? So that there's 100 people saying that they're William Shatner. Well, the William Shatner that's verified is actually William Shatner, right? So it beats off impersonators. Right. Particularly important for journalists, especially journalists operating in places where you could get killed for reporting on a thing or misreporting a thing, or like you need your sources to be reliable. So it serves many purposes, and particularly, it's not just media people. It's not like Kanye needs his check mark as much as like the New York Times reporter. So we can DM Cody and say, hey, Cody, I want to do a story on the Eeyore costume you had. And I know as soon as I see it, oh, it's a New York Times reporter, I could reply and maybe get some coverage on this thing. So it's a very important part of Twitter's ecosystem. It signifies status, and it does come with privileges.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's free. Been free. Elon announced today that he wants to charge $20 a month for it, and he's going to have Twitter's engineers make that happen by the end of next week, or they're fired, I believe.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Yeah, sure.
And we will have, I think, 60 or 90 days based on initial reports to basically say whether we want to pay for the check mark or not.
What, $20 a month?
$20 a month.
Now, see, all right, what's the difference between that and Twitter Blue? Because that's the thing I read was that he wanted to charge more for Twitter Blue.
So this what I'm thinking. So Twitter Blue is a premium service where, like, I don't know, I think you get fewer ads or something, or you can edit your tweets. There's like 4 or 5 privileges. It doesn't really change the experience massively.
Right.
But I think, the reports that I've read are that he's rolling the Twitter verification into this. So he's like, screw this Twitter Blue thing. Twitter Blue is like a couple perks. No one really cares about its back end functionality stuff. It doesn't matter. But when you run the risk of losing your blue check mark, that's actually a really big deal.
Yeah.
Because it is a status thing and it does significantly set you apart from other people on the platform. Now, I don't know whether he plans on just allowing anyone to buy the check mark or if there's like a verification process in place that then once verified, you are eligible to buy it. I don't know if there's a pre-screening. There's very few details on this. It's pretty
Yeah,
much
because I'm
breaking
looking at the
news.
story right now. It says now that this is from CBSNews.com saying that uh, Elon Musk wants to charge users to retain the coveted blue check denoting verified status, according to a report in The Verge. The Verge said that Musk plans to charge $20 a month for Twitter Blue, a service that currently costs $5 monthly, and expands its feature to include verifying users' identity. Currently verified users would have 90 days to sign up or lose their blue check mark. Oh, no.
Yeah,
Oh, no. Oh, 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 no. I don't want to pay $20 a month.
me neither.
Oh, but I love being Twitter verified.
Same.
What do we do, Cody?
I'm
What
going
do
to
we
pay.
do with this?
I'm probably going to pay.
Are you really?
I will for a little while, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's so like how Twitter responds will determine how good Elon is for Twitter. Because Twitter Blue is a thing most people could take or leave. No one, I don't care. No one, it's not compelling. Being verified is extremely compelling in the context of Twitter today, right now.
Yes.
So if there are 500,000 people that are like, I need to be Twitter verified, it's very important, and they'll pony up $20 a month, then
Wow.
that's $10 million, right? 500,000. But yeah, that's $10 million a month they're getting in profit. $10 million a month just from the blue check mark, right? And that's 500,000. I threw that number out of nowhere. I just pulled that out of my butt. I have no idea how many people are verified. I don't know how many people will pay. The other thing is, if you're a brand or a company, a lot of people are going to make this a corporate write-off, right? If I'm a New York Times reporter,
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to my editor right now and I'm saying, New York Times is paying for me to be verified, right? And you damn well better be sure the New York Times probably will. I bet WGN would if we were still at the station. I would ask. Well, they probably wouldn't. But
No, they wouldn't.
But larger
A
places
reputable news organization would.
Sure. No, but a lot of places will do this, right? And the celebrities, it's not a big deal. All the PR people, all the talent people. So
Yeah.
there are huge swaths. Smaller independent journalists,
Like
it may have
us.
to become like us, may have to be a thing that they do that, like, you know, they may have to be a cost of doing business, essentially, if they want to maintain, continue to be reputable. Or people don't go for it. Maybe he set the price too high. Maybe it's not compelling enough. Maybe people start to leave. Maybe Twitter starts to kind of fall apart a little bit. I don't know. But my sense is, based on how important it is, how tremendously important it is to the experience right now of being on Twitter.
Yeah.
I think people are going to make the switch. And I think it's going to be the most money Twitter is cashing in consistently for any product they've offered since they launched. So if you look at it from that perspective, and I know it sucks for you and me, Brian, a lot, but if you look at it from the capitalism
Sure, the
perspective,
shareholder. Well, yeah.
he's coming in and he's kicking ass. Like, that is a very, very, very good business decision if people buy it, and they can implement it. That's my assessments. As for like how I feel about it, the point of verification really is to protect people's identities. So it's yet to be seen, again, how it impacts the verification. Because if any schmo can walk on off the street and Mr. Happy 825, with an egg as his little icon, is suddenly verified now, then it loses its status. It's kind of like how Facebook used to be only for college students.
Sure.
Then they expanded to everyone. And then as, mom and dad and grandma and grandpa and racist uncle joined Facebook, suddenly I don't really want to be on Facebook anymore. So it became less cool, right? The cool factor is gone from Facebook. Facebook sucks. I don't think anything about it is cool. It's a terrible user experience, and this is garbage, right? It's just a
Okay.
big garbage dump. It's not my hot college friends, posting memes on each other's walls. It's just trashy everything. So will Twitter go the way of the trashy everything? I don't know. Or will people just like buy into the blue check mark? They'll roll it out correctly in a smart way, and then it becomes a compelling product offering. I don't know.
Yeah, the exclusivity of it and the fact that whoever's commenting as that person with the check mark is that person. That is a big deal. I agree with you 100%. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it's worth. And again, is it going to be, suddenly anybody who has, excuse me, has $20 a month? That's no good.
Mhm. And is it as important as a large following, right? Like I have
Right.
20,000 followers. If I tweeted somebody, they'll
Wow.
probably pay attention because I have 20,000 followers. But is the check mark more important than that? Is it as important or is it less important? What if I just let the check mark go away and see if people still care about me because I've got 20,000 followers? Because I'm not fit. No one cares about me. No one's going to impersonate me. No one knows who I am. I'm just some dude with 20,000 followers, which is legit, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of followers.
It is. So there's that angle.
Yeah,
of
like
it
for
too.
me, the check mark carries a lot of weight because I don't do a lot on Twitter.
Mhm.
But when I have had beef, I get some results because I have that check mark.
And that's what I think, you're like, what are you going to do? I think that's what the question comes down to is what do you do with Twitter?
Yeah.
I actually don't really use it for much right now, but it does help me connect directly with certain people sometimes. If I decide to pay, I would probably also be more likely to use it more,
Yeah, you'd have to.
right? To justify it.
Right. I'm not gonna. Oh yeah, I'm paid $20 a month. How often do you tweet? I don't know, 3 times a year.
Yeah.
That's
So
not gonna happen. It's I don't know. We'll see. And he came out the other day because everybody thought, oh, the minute Elon walked in, he was going to bring back all these accounts that had been banished. But now he claims there's going to be a board of varying and widely disparate backgrounds and opinions to go back and kind of look and see whose accounts are going to be reactivated. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to go on with Twitter, but everybody. Oh, when he says it's supposed to be the town square, and he really doesn't want it to be a hellscape. Like, well, you can't have both. If you're going to let anybody say whatever they want, it's going to be a hellscape. It's a hellscape now.
it is, and it's not the town square because there's people lose perspective on Twitter because so much of the conversation and the drama of like everything happens on Twitter.
Yes.
Like some celebrity says something dumb on Twitter, it gets blown up on every news article publication. But the actual user base of Twitter is 300 million, which sounds like a lot of people because it is. But Facebook has like 1 point something billion, 1.2, probably 1.3 at this point billion, right? So 4 times bigger. That's technically more of a town square. If you look at it from a user mass point of view. So there's a lot of people that just aren't on Twitter. There's a lot of people that aren't.
Well,
on
that's the
people.
thing. Everybody or people think that everyone's on Twitter.
Yeah.
And everyone's not on Twitter.
No.
Journalists, sports people, political crackpots, political non-crackpots. But everybody isn't on Twitter.
No.
In my house, in my family of 3 adults, really only one is on Twitter, me. Debbie doesn't have an account, and Molly, I don't think, uses it very much. So, if you looked at us, well, that's only a third of the population. That's still a lot of people who don't. So,
yeah.
I don't know. We will see. I wasn't sure about the sink bit. I didn't know if that was that was an odd flex. Look at me, I'm carrying in a sink. Let that sink in. Get it? Ha ha ha.
He's weird, and that's fine. He did tweet probably flippantly. He was like, "Should I bring back Vine?" And people could say yes or no. Vine Dude, Vine is what TikTok is now.
Those were those 6-second videos, right?
Yes.
Okay. I remembered I never got involved in it.
No,
Well, just
Twitter
like I'm
had
not involved in TikTok.
Twitter had a product called Vine. It was 6-second
Right.
videos. It's how Logan Paul got really famous.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really great and it was fun and people engaged with it. But Twitter's problem, and I read one article on this, so don't totally quote me, but Twitter they basically tried to push it towards upper middle class white people, and it was primarily used by minorities.
Okay.
And someone at Twitter didn't want that to be the case.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they ended up shutting it down because they were just like,
Oh.
well, it's just minorities using it, so like there's no like monetary value or whatever.
Oh, that was a mistake.
Yeah, it was a huge mistake. And now you
That
look
was
at
a big mistake.
Instagram Reels and Facebook video and TikTok, like it literally the DNA of the internet as we know it today. Vine was like the groundwork, but they didn't lean into it because it had the wrong quote unquote user base, and it was stupid, and it was a huge miss for them. And now,
so now we have to pay $20 a month for our check mark because some racist executive got rid of.
Yeah. So I would like for him to maybe bring Vine back, but now I'm not going to use it because now the internet's mostly cancerous. So
it is. I'm finding I'm not a fan of the internet.
Yeah.
We say this all the time. I don't know. All right.
Because the internet has a lot of people and we're not a fan of people, Brian.
Cody, you are 100% right about that. I am, I'm finding, and this is unapproved topic about to be broached.
Oh my
unapproved topic about to be broached.
Okay.
I'm finding I never want to leave the house anymore because the minute I get in the car, I am infuriated beyond belief, like irrationally angry every time I get in the car because of how stupid people are. And I realize that me saying everybody else is stupid is probably delusional because they're all in their car thinking everybody else is stupid. So, but I'm losing my mind every time I leave the house. So I may have to develop, agoraphobia. I may have to even fake it so I don't go outside. I think that's the right one. I think that's the right phobia, the agoraphobia.
You think you need to develop it?
I got to develop it. So I can tell people it's not that I don't want to go outside. I'm just afraid to go outside.
Oh, okay. I see.
Because right now I get in the car and the minute I pull out of the garage, I'm infuriated.
That's pretty quick.
It's irrational, but everywhere I go, stupidity. And then I get out of the car and I'm just as angry at the stupid people because you walk into a store and they're all just, they start to walk through the door and then they just stop and they do their business right in the doorway. There's people behind you. Get your ass out of the way. Keep moving. And I know I can't be the only person who knows there are other people in the universe, but it's becoming that way. So yes, to your we hate people comment, concur, 100% concur. Now next week we will be in a crowd of people, but they will mostly be drunk.
Oh my goodness!
And I will be happy.
I cannot wait
because I will be mostly drunk. You can't help it. We're going to Fobab.
Wait, that's also not on the topic sheet, and you didn't talk about your
I know
big
this
job.
is just a tease.
Okay, all right,
quick
that's
tease. Tying into being in public. It's a tease. I apologize.
I see. Nice transition, Brian.
All right, back to the thing here. I finished a big job this week, Cody.
That's what she said.
I just Gidget now wants to leave because the buzzer is going off.
Yeah, me too.
Come here, Gidget.
Because I ruined that perfectly set up transition. But I'm Eeyore.
Right. Listen, you are Eeyore. Everything is bad.
I'm also an asshole.
I am exhausted because this is a day I never thought I would say.
Monday?
We finished my mom's garage.
Oh my God.
It is. So hold on. Talk amongst yourselves. I got to let her out again.
My goodness.
This is getting.
I apologize for ruining Brian's tease, everybody, but we're gonna have some fun this weekend. Oh my goodness! I can't believe November's here. I have a baby due in December. That's really weird and crazy.
Not only do I have to get up, but it's very difficult to get up and move with this boot on. And Debbie used to put pillows in front of the stairs to keep Gidget downstairs, and I'd say, "Oh, don't worry, Gidget's not a bother." But today, Gidget's a bother. The garage is finished. We went over last weekend, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, with the goal of clearing out just enough room for her to get her car in this winter.
Mm.
But you know me, I'm down with OPP. I cannot be stopped. And along with my lovely wife and last weekend, Molly, we started to just go. We were like possessed. But there was so much stuff in this garage, and I told you a little bit about it. It's so big. So I made an appointment with 1-800-GOT-JUNK because they had to come. So
Right.
Saturday morning, we get there early, like 10 o'clock, and we had finished half the garage, and we wanted to get the other half done before the junk guys came. So we're working very furiously. Took 5 carloads of stuff to donate at Salvation Army, which, sidebar, the guys who work at Salvation Army, the one we went to, jerks, complete jerks.
What?
So you're driving. Now, before I say this, I don't expect anybody to kiss my feet for bringing them, for donating stuff. That's
Right.
fine. I don't care. But the one old man yelled at Debbie because we had a lot of stuff in just big plastic tubs. And they were like, put the big plastic tubs in a shopping cart. And she's like, they won't fit in the shopping cart. I'm going to just stack them right here. They're screaming at her. Then I go with her, and now we have 2 carloads full of stuff, and they know better than to say anything to me. But if they want you to put stuff in the shopping carts, I'm fine with that. But then keep bringing out more shopping carts. They stop. They're going to get a different pallet. They're doing this. They're doing that. There's no shopping carts. So at some point, I'm like, screw this. I'm just going to pile it up right next to the big bins where they're putting everything. So anyway, that's my sidebar of Salvation Army. You can ring that kettlebell all you want, but maybe get the people who are working your donation center to at least not treat people like we're there to steal or burn the place down. We're just dropping things off in an effort to help people, I guess, and to get stuff out of our house. And I only donate stuff that's in good shape. So there was a lot of garbage. There was a lot of donations, and we get to the point where it's done. And the 1-800-JUNK guys show up with an empty truck, and they look at this garage and go, all of that? And I was like, yeah, yep, all of it. And they're like, okay. And I got to tell you, these guys worked like men possessed. They were loading this truck, and they were taking everything. And the guy was, what they do is they come and they look at it, and they charge by how much of the truck you're going to fill. And they go, this is going to at least fill the whole truck. I go, yep, I'm sure it is. And he goes, it may take a little more. I'm like, all right, that's fine, whatever. They're loading it. And it came down, the last piece was this big old wooden bench that had been in my dad's office at his school, and that when the school was being torn down, he brought it home. Unfortunately, like a few other pieces of nice furniture, it had been put in the garage 20 years ago and now was mildewed and moldy and warped. And yeah. So there's a lesson for you, kids. If you're going to save stuff, take care of it. If you're not going to use it again, donate it or sell it right away, because we had to toss a lot of stuff. But it got down to the last piece, this giant bench, and the truck was full. And Cody, when I mean full, they pulled the tarp over the top, and it was way up to the point where they had to bungee cord the tarp down. It wouldn't close. The truck was so full. And these guys, they were going to do whatever they could to get this giant bench on this truck to finish it out and not have any, because it was the last thing. And they were shifting it one way and pushing it another way, and then slamming the doors, trying to break part of the bench off so it would shut. And they flipped it another way, and they're hammering pieces off of it. And then
oh my gosh.
Bam. They shut the doors, and we were like, oh, it's so good. Then Then they were trying to get the tarp down. They're like, "You don't have any rope, do you?" And I was like, "We did, but we threw it somewhere in that truck because we
Oh my
threw it
God.
away." So Debbie's like, "I think there's some bungee cords over here." She went and gets a bungee cord. They bungee it down. So that was gone. Saturday I think we worked 9 hours of nonstop physical labor. Um, then we go back Saturday because there was stuff that now Debbie's gonna try to sell for my ma, and there was a couple more boxes. But I send my brothers pictures of this empty garage now.
Hmm.
I have 4 brothers. 3 of them sent me text that said, "Oh, that's great. Thanks for handling this." The other one was like, "Well, I guess miracles do happen." I'm like, "Miracles happen?" There was no miracle here. This was Debbie and Molly and myself busted our ass to get this done, so you didn't have to do it. But I didn't say that. I just
Eh,
let it go. I'm like,
no,
whatever.
that's right. No, good on
Oh,
you.
but then I said to my mom, I go, "All right, do you want to be the first one to pull the car in the garage?" "Yes, I do." So she went and she pulled up the driveway and she just started laughing because she's looking, going, "Oh my God, it's empty. I could, I could pull right in." Because when I tell you that there was no room for error before getting her car in, she used to have to run into a table to make sure.
Wow.
Yeah, it was literally, imagine, for old people, Mr. Peabody's closet in the Sherman and Peabody cartoons. Imagine a 2.5 car garage that's extra deep, and then stuff on 3 sides with enough of a gap to put a old Ford Escape into it. Not even enough to open, like if you were parked, only one door would open. She couldn't open the passenger side. She could just open her door, but not enough. That's how she got sciatica, because she couldn't open her car door enough.
Oh my gosh.
So now it's done. It's all done. And it was like, "Oh, this is beautiful." It was fit. So there was as we were leaving, Debbie and I were just like, "I can't believe it. I can't believe it's done. I just can't believe it." There is a service door, a back door in this garage that had not been used for over 20 years because you couldn't get to it. I'm not exaggerating. There's a door because the garage was built. I think I was in 6th, 7th grade when we built our garage. So there was a door, like it was an exterior door down coming out of the lower level that she couldn't use from the laundry room. Now it goes into the garage. She couldn't use that because there was so much stuff. Stuff was in the stairwell that it
Unreal.
just filled. And now she's been coming in for the last 3 days. She's been coming in and out from the laundry room going, "Oh, this is so great. I just come right out and then I can open the garage door." And, then all the lights work now in the garage. It was, so it was just like, uh, so that was it. And then we're bringing home stuff. I found some, going through boxes of just stuff that's, I don't know how long it's been buried. I thought this was gone for good. When I was a freshman at Southern, my mom made me a leprechaun suit to wear to Halloween because Halloween was a huge deal at Southern, and it had the big curly shit, the whole thing. I found the box that had all these old Halloween costumes in them. Yep, there was the leprechaun suit. All right, perfect. Found a bunch of stuff from my dad, just all kinds of craziness. So that job is now done. But have you ever wished you had taken a picture after the fact? Like, I
Yes.
didn't take any before pictures. I only have after pictures. I know. That's my only regret, is that I did not take
Yeah.
a before picture,
Yeah.
because nobody believes it. I know it sounds like I'm being hyperbolic. I'm not. I'm downplaying it to protect her from being, put in a home because she's a crazy hoarder, which she's not anymore.
Dude.
But I did
Unreal.
have to throw her a warning. I said, Ma, I've cleaned this garage out a couple times. There is nothing left in here. If it fills up again, I'm lighting a match. and burning this place to the ground. Because I'm not subtle when I'm really fatigued.
Right. Yeah. There's something to be said for an empty space. My little podcast closet thing that I have a couple little accoutrements, a couple little like stuffed animal kind of things up here. I got a picture of my wife, which I would want, but I've got some crap on this desk. And it's just like, I remember when I started putting a couple extra things on it on the desktop, I was just like, at the time, I was just like, man, I should just keep it totally clear. And I was right. And it's now you're motivating me because an empty, it may sound to some people not that, kind of, well, an empty garage, what good is that? But no, empty is sometimes very good.
Well, empty to the point where you can use it now.
Right.
It was just basically a catch-all for everything. There was stuff. Anybody who asked my mom if they could just store stuff there was furniture there that wasn't even hers or ours or my brother's. It would. Why is this table here? Oh, so and so asked if they could leave it here for a while. How long ago? 30 years. No, we got it. It's got to go. Well, we didn't ask them if they wanted it anymore. I go, here's the thing. It doesn't matter if they want it. It's nasty. There was so much mouse shit and spider stuff. And
That's
but now I just sat there for a couple minutes and just looked at it just in all its empty glory. And there's still, there's still ladders and there's a couple tools and there, little garage stuff, but that's all put away. And I love even here if we clean something out, I'll just sit there and go, oh, this is nice. This is great. Not regular everyday cleaning, but when you do like like when we purged a bunch of stuff in the basement and laid down a rug and I just sat down there and I went, oh, now I don't use the basement as like an entertainment room, but I can walk down there and yes, there's shelves with all the holiday stuff on it, but you could sit down there if you needed to. Like during tornado warnings, we have sat down there and it was fine. It was lovely.
Nice.
So I do like that kind of emptiness. But our house is not empty. You've been in my house. It's got stuff.
Not at all.
It's got stuff.
Sure.
I'm not living in a cube in a thing. So that was it. That was the big job. Now I don't know what I'll do with myself, Cody. I may just have to relax on the weekends. Well, next Saturday I'll go to FOBAB.
Why don't you drink a bunch?
I might start drinking more.
Okay.
Debbie and Molly gave me a Koval tasting tour that I think they gave it to me for Christmas that I still haven't used. So maybe I do that. Who knows?
Sounds
we'll
good
see.
to me.
Yeah, it was nice. But that's all on my list. Do you have anything else on your list?
No, we're out of time. This is perfect.
We are out of time. We're actually a couple minutes over. But
we started late, so
we did start late, and it's Halloween, and we're all jacked up on sugar. So lots. Oh, I'm gonna go down and have some sugar right now. I don't know what kind. I'm gonna have some. You can't stop me. I'm a grown man. Ha ha! I'm a minion. All right. Well, thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for everything. Next week I will also have a show to plug. So watch the Facebook page. I have a big stand-up show this Friday in Tinley Park, Illinois. So watch for that. Details to come. And thank you for being here. Cody, as always, thank you. And again, my compliments to you with your family costume. They were lovely.
Thank you. I'm very hot right now. I'm going to take this off.
Well, go strip down, Eeyore. We'll talk to you again next week. Like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, bye.